Hi everyone. I am going to show you how I created this look. I took off my crown, but you'll see in the final result and hope you like it. Okay, so to get started, I got my global white, and what I wanted to do was outline the basic shape of where I wanted to go with everything. So my vision for this was to kind of have a skull coming out of the mermaid skin. So I wanted the mermaid skin to be the biggest part, but I definitely wanted to get that side in there of that jaw. So I'm just kind of tracing out overhanging skin a little bit over my nose. I wanted some skeleton teeth to show, so left some of my cut down through my lip and then through my neck area. I wasn't sure how far down the picture would go, so I just went down there to be safe. I then went around my eyes because I did want to black out my eyes for the look. And I wanted the white rim to be white. So I did go over that with white so I wouldn't put any color there. I then got a makeup brush and went on with teal. If you have a kabuki brush, that would work really well with this. I prefer this type of brush for applying large spaces of paint. Went through and put in my teal for my mermaid skin, and then went in with white to kind of outline where the skull would be. Also, funny enough, this is when the delivery man showed up at my door and I had to answer the door. Anyway, got all my white in, and I did go over that a couple of times because I did want white, and went back through with the teal as well. Went down through my neck. I wanted to do kind of a skeleton neck, ended up towards the end just blacking the whole thing out. Then I went into my eye area and again went around that space with white. You can see my dog crawling in the background. Then I got out my wolf black and went over my actual eyes to get the effect that I really wanted. I'm not sure if face paint was the way to go, actually, to go over the eyes. I still got it black, but to get it really black, I think I would have needed more of an eye gel pen or something like that with makeup, but in the end, I liked it anyway, and, the wolf black worked just fine. So I went in there and got every little piece of my eyeball that I could. Once that was done, I then started on my skull area. Good rule of thumb is if it's hard on your face, that's where highlights are going to be, and if it's squishy, it's going to be black. So just kind of feeling through my face there of where I actually wanted to put the hollow out of my cheekbone. Kind of like to feel that out. I like to give that a rounded shape, something I can really pull back kind of into a good blend. Added a little hollow there for another part of the bone, and then just went over my jawline because I will black that whole part out. Kind of gives it more of that skull effect when you take away that, visual reference of your actual jawbone. So painted that black. I went through then and also started to paint that little hollow black. I painted the opening of my cheek, and then also added a little nose for me, the part of the skull that was showing on my tip. Then I went through with black again on my makeup brush and went back and painted my jawline and then went down my neck. Ended up leaving a little space white that I was going to come in with, but just blacked it out in the end. Now bringing in some more white. And I use a petal brush to actually do the teeth. It kind of makes a perfect shape. So just went through and gave myself some teeth. You can't super see it in this video, but they did show up on the picture. And a little bit later, you'll see me kind of go in and outline them as well. Took that a little bit into the actual hollow, and I'll fade that back. Now, this is the best part about skeletons is shadow. So went in and made the indent in the temple area using Urban Decay black eyeshadow. I find that stays really well on face paint, and it really creates the image that I want anyway. So I like using it a lot once I did that, I did go underneath the mermaid skin and added some more shadow where it overhung over the actual skeleton part. Added some more shadow then to the skeleton jawbone that really makes it look like it's receding under that top bone. So just went through and really added shadow in quite a lot of places on the skull, just to kind of really start to bring that to life. I got a very, very fine brush again with my Wolf Black, and I started to outline the skin area. I just wanted it a little bit more defined. So I did go through and outline that with a very thin brush. I didn't want it super heavy, but just something. Same brush, same Wolf Black, went through and started to outline the teeth. I do like kind of giving them a little tendril down the chin area, and went around my eyes again with some shadow just to kind of make them more pronounced and sunken in. You know, I just kind of wanted it to look like this, you know, Mermaid of the Night, which is the contest that I did this for. I went in with a little bit of white as well, same super fine brush, just to add a little bit of highlight to any area that I had a deep hole, such as the nose, the jawbone, and then that little hollow. So a little bit of white goes a long way in areas like that. I then wanted to add a little bit more of a mermaid look, and I used my mermaid scale stencil. I really kind of struggled with the idea of the color for this since I had teal skin. I was going to go with a shimmery pink, but thought maybe that would look a little bit too cartoony, even though, you know, this kind of has that cartoony effect, but still, I decided on a shimmery blue. And in the end, I actually really liked it a lot. It stood up apart from the actual teal. So I used my dauber to do the sponge or to do this stencil with. I find this a lot easier, although I will tell you it is very hard to stencil yourself while trying to hold a mirror and everything else. So finally got it, just smooched it on there, and I did this really sporadic. I didn't give myself super uniform scales. Also, I did not cover my whole face with them, the whole skin with them. I just kind of picked and choose some spots. So doing the forehead, a little bit on the cheeks. It's not a solid scale on the face. So got through and I like that. It's now time for hair. Ta-da! I ended up just kind of curling the front a little bit. This is a mermaid crown I made. I had a lot of fun with it. I kind of had to play around with it to get it to fit right. I did one of the shells down a little bit too far. Lesson learned. Just kind of played around. I ended up putting it on a little askew, just to kind of add to the look and get it lined up. But got it to fit and I like it. Once that's all done, I figured I was just about ready. So to do some finishing touches, I did want to add some shells. I had some bigger shells. When I actually put them on, I did not like how they looked. They just looked too big and too out of place. So I ended up going with much smaller shells, just held on with the Mayron body glue, and just kind of put them around the one eye that was closest to the skull. That was the angle I was going to be taking the images at, and you know, I just kind of like that look better, and I did like the smaller shells. So got them on, my look was complete, and it was time to take some pictures. So thanks guys, I really appreciate all your help and support, and I hope you like the tutorial. See you next time.